We're all gonna die tonight, aren't we?
Who the hell is that? I don't know, but that's a really big gun.
Critters attack.
Finally, after 28 years of waiting, the Krites return in yet another Critters film. Why there was such a long wait between Critters movies, I have no idea. We of course had a Critters show earlier this year, but it's best to forget that ever happened. Considering just how awful everything Critters has been since the second movie, I had pretty high hopes for this film. I wasn't expecting anything of high quality, but we were at least guaranteed a fun movie made by fans for fans, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? And the obvious answer to that is everything. Critters Attack is not the worst thing I've ever seen, but let me tell you, it is far from good. The film doesn't have a creative bone in its body. Everything in this movie you've seen before and done way better. The film follows a girl named Drea who's sad because she can't get into her dream college. She's also a babysitter who agrees to look after 2 kids. She brings her younger brother with her, and the 4 of them stumble upon a white Krite who they take in and name Bianca. While this is happening, the regular Krites roam around Earth eating everyone in sight. Eventually the 2 plots collide and it's up to Drea to get the kids to safety. I think the biggest problem with this movie, for me at least, is that maybe too much care went into the Krites. The puppets look fantastic, far better than they did in New Binge, and the scenes with them eating people is a lot of gory fun. This is actually the first Critters movie to be rated R, and while I think they could have done a lot more with that idea, what we get is pretty much on par with what I'd expect from a Sci-Fi Channel movie. Unfortunately, everything with the human characters is just an afterthought. Every plot point in this movie feels like a stock plot from some other teen film. I don't think anyone watching this will care about whether or not Drea gets into college, much less if any of these characters get eaten. In the original film, you had the bounty hunters trying to track down the Krites as they terrorized a family. Here they kind of do that, but instead of an alien bounty hunter, we get the return of Dee Wallace, who played the mother in the first film. Dee Wallace is actually amazing. She's been in countless 80s films and often played the mom in classics such as E.T. and Cujo. Unfortunately, she's completely wasted here. They try to make her a badass Sarah Connor type, and they just don't do anything interesting with it. Critters Attack didn't even have the rights to use her character's name, instead referring to her as Aunt Dee. Dee Wallace herself has confirmed that she's playing the same character, but the fact that it's not made clear within the movie itself is quite a misstep. The film is also painfully unfunny. Not quite as bad as New Binge, but not a single joke made me laugh. It was a very awkward experience.
Anybody know any good jokes? I've got one. What did Sushi A say to Sushi B? Wasabi. Like, what's up, B? No.
You can tell that there's a desperate attempt to modernize Critters for this day and age, with lots of talk about texting and a silent kid who's always on his phone. There's nothing wrong with having this stuff be in your movie, but I think the way in which it's used here feels a bit excessive.
Oh my God, Jake, this meme is so funny. Oh, another text coming in from Jake.
On top of that, there are many more stock plot points that feel very been there, done that. There's an ongoing plot about a mom who died in a car crash, and it never feels natural within the story itself.
She died in a car accident. Drea thinks it's her fault. She snuck out to a party and...
It's of course there to make us care for these characters more, but all it really did was make me wish I was watching a better Critters film. I'd even take Critters 3 over this one. At least that one starred Academy Award winner Leonardo DiCaprio.
He was actually such a misfit child that some people called him Leonardo Retardo.
Bianca is another odd addition to this movie, being the one good Krite. She's clearly just a ripoff of Gizmo from Gremlins, but it was something I felt could have worked as a concept. Unfortunately, she's also completely wasted. Dee Wallace's character says something about her being sent there to protect the Earth, but why? I guess we'll never know. It's also a bit odd that this is a Warner Brothers movie, which would mean that Warner Brothers now owns both Critters and Gremlins. Why they would need both, I am not quite sure. Though I will say it really is a shame when a movie has one good idea and doesn't use it to its full potential. There's quite a few scenes in this movie that could have easily been cut out. Perhaps the most baffling was a scene in which the four main characters are trying to get into a room with a padlock.
Guys, it's a keypad. We can't get through without a password.
It's not impossible. Just think of some numbers that would be important to your mom.
I can try my birthday. Worked.
Like, why did you leave that in there? It's not clever in any sense, it doesn't add anything to the story, it just makes an already dumb movie somehow look even more dumb. But I digress. Overall, Critters Attack might very well be the worst Critters film, at least to me it was. It feels like it was made with good intentions, but in the end, I've seen fan films that were better. Seriously, go check out the Critters Bounty Hunter fan film on YouTube, because that shit is lit. Critters Attack is yet another bust for the Critters franchise. At this point, I hope we have another long break before getting anything else. Unless Sci-Fi or some other company is able to come up with something really creative, I don't look forward to more. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna go lie down and sleep for the next 28 years. Maybe we'll have another Critters movie by then. Bye.